Imagine this. You're sitting at breakfast, about to butter your toast. But have you ever stopped to wonder where that little pat of butter came from? It starts with something pretty amazing. Happy cows. And some farmers are going the extra mile to make sure their cows are really happy. I'm talking VR glasses. Yes, virtual reality for cows. Picture these chubby cattle chilling out in their stalls with some kind of peaceful, relaxing landscape playing on their VR headsets. This keeps them relaxed and stress-free while they're being milked. Pretty wild, right? But why go to such lengths to pamper these cows? Well, because when the cows are stress-free, they produce better quality milk. And for anyone on the butter making journey, high quality milk is step number one. So once these cows are relaxed and ready, they enter an automated milking system that's honestly a marvel of modern technology. Before we continue, I'd like to ask for a quick favor. If you're enjoying the video, please like and subscribe. It's free for you, but it makes a huge difference for us. Here's how it works. Each cow walks into its designated stall, where a milking unit is ready and waiting. These aren't just any milking machines. These units are super gentle, using controlled vacuum pressure to draw the milk out naturally. The cups are carefully placed on the cows, and the whole process is designed to be comfortable for the cows, which is key to getting that creamy, delicious milk we're after. The best part? The milk flows straight into containers with zero human contact. Now, once that milk is collected, it doesn't just head straight to butter making. First, it's got to go through a series of quality tests. You don't want just any milk making it into your butter, after all. Only after it passes these rigorous tests does it move on to the next stage. And this next step is crucial. The milk enters what's called a centrifuge, which is a machine that spins the milk really fast. This helps separate the cream from the rest of the milk. It's much faster than the old school way of just waiting for the cream to rise to the top naturally. After centrifugation, we end up with two main products, skimmed milk and cream. Now, quick side note, skimmed milk might not be everyone's favorite because let's be honest, it doesn't have that rich, full taste that whole milk has. But it's super healthy and great for anyone who's looking to cut down on fat. Once separated, the cream is smoothed out and goes through pasteurization, which is just a fancy word for heating it up to kill any bacteria. After pasteurization, the cream is allowed to mature. Think of it like letting dough rise before you bake it. After maturing, the cream starts to transform into something truly magical. Butter grains. These tiny, smooth, subtle grains are the building blocks of the butter we love. The grains have to go through one more step before they become a spreadable, creamy butter we can't get enough of. They get washed. Why? Because washing the butter grains removes any leftover buttermilk, which can give the butter a tangy flavor. And while tangy butter might sound good to some, most people prefer that pure, rich, creamy taste. So, the washing process ensures that the final butter will be as smooth and flavorful as possible. After washing, the butter grains get a little seasoning, specifically salt. This is where we get salty butter, which, let's face it, is the ultimate topping for pretty much everything. Now let's talk about churning. This is where the butter really comes to life. Churning is the process of continuously moving the butter mixture to make the fat molecules come together. It's kind of like kneading dough, but instead of bread, we're making butter. This process creates that smooth, creamy texture we all know and love. Fun fact, did you know that in ancient times butter was so valuable that people used it as currency? Imagine going to the market and paying for your groceries in pats of butter. So once the butter is all churned and creamy, it's time to shape it. This part is actually super fun to watch because the butter gets pushed through an extruder, which is basically a machine that shapes the butter into whatever form is needed. And for those who love that artisanal touch, there are hand-molded butters too. These beautiful little creations are for anyone who wants their butter to look as good as it tastes. Once shaped, the butter is ready for packaging. And here's where things get really high-tech. Machines work in perfect harmony. One places the tubes, another pours the butter in, and a third seals it up with golden paper. Then the butter takes a ride on a conveyor belt, heading toward the barcode station. This might sound like just another step, but it's crucial for making sure every package is tracked and ready for the shelves. But wait, we're not done yet. There's another butter product that's just as delicious, if not more so: ghee. Ghee is like butter's fancy cousin. It's made by melting butter and boiling it until all the water evaporates and the milk solids separate from the fat. What's left is pure golden ghee, a rich, nutty, flavorful oil that's perfect for cooking. It has a higher smoke point than regular butter, which means it won't burn as easily, making it great for frying, sautéing, and even baking. Once it's ready, the ghee is poured into containers where it cools down before heading to the packing station. Every drop of ghee is poured through a sieve to ensure it's perfectly pure, and then it's sealed up, locking in that buttery richness. And there you have it, the full journey from cow to butter and beyond. Whether it's salty butter, artisanal butter, or ghee, the process is as intricate as it is fascinating. Next time you reach for that stick of butter, you'll know just how much love, science, and technology went into making it. So next time you're enjoying that perfectly buttered toast or drizzling ghee over your favorite dish, take a moment to appreciate the magic behind it all. Now, if you're into learning about the fascinating world of food production like I am, make sure to check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments, are you team salty or unsalted? And what's your favorite way to use butter? Can't wait to hear from you.
Did you know that the average American consumes about 3 pounds of peanut butter every year? Or that peanuts were enjoyed by ancient cultures like the Aztecs and Incas, who ground them into a paste? The journey of peanut butter starts with peanuts growing underground, and transforming these humble nuts into creamy spreads can take a long time. From the fields where peanuts are harvested to the high-tech machines that turns them into peanut butter, this is the truth behind how peanut butter is made. The journey of peanut butter starts in the fields. The peanuts are planted in spring, around April or May, when temperatures start to climb up and are perfect for the little seeds to grow. The plants bloom into beautiful yellow flowers that bend down to the ground. After the petals fall off, the peanut pods continue growing underground. Peanuts take a long time to grow, about 140 to 160 days. That's why it's only by late August to October, when the weather is dry and clear, that it's time to harvest. Dry weather makes the process easier because the soil doesn't stick to the peanut stems and pods. During harvest, machines dig up the peanut plants. These machines shake the plants to loosen the peanuts from their roots and flip the plants over, so the peanuts are exposed to the sun. The plants dry in the sun for a few days to remove extra moisture. This drying step is important to keep the peanuts from spoiling. Once the peanuts are dry, big machines pick up the plants, separate the peanuts from the debris, and collect them in large containers. Did you know that China, one of the biggest producers, processes about 20 million tons of peanuts each year? After harvesting, the peanuts are taken to shelling facilities for the next step. When the peanuts arrive at the shelling facility, the first thing they get is a good cleaning. This step removes any dirt, stones, and other bits and pieces. Only clean peanuts move forward from here. Next, the moisture content of the peanuts is checked and controlled. This is important because too much moisture makes the shells too tough to crack, while too little makes the seeds too brittle. The peanuts are then passed through a series of rollers that gently crack open the shells. After that, the peanuts are gently tumbled and air blown until all the shells and foreign materials are gone. After shelling, the peanuts are graded. They are inspected for size, color, and quality. Only the best peanuts move on to the next stage. Any defective ones are discarded. Now, we really want to make sure that the peanut butter gets that unique nutty flavor we all love. So that brings us to what is probably the most important process of all: roasting. There are two main ways to roast peanuts: batch roasting and continuous roasting. In batch roasting, large amounts of peanuts are placed in a revolving oven. They are heated to about 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius for 40 to 60 minutes. This is great for peanuts with different moisture levels because the revolving oven roasts them evenly. Continuous roasting is a bit different. Here, peanuts pass through a hot air roaster where they are constantly rocked back and forth. A special device called the photometer checks when the peanuts are perfectly roasted, turning them from white to a light brown color. Big manufacturers love this method because it reduces spoilage and needs less labor. The continuous rocking motion ensures that every peanut is roasted evenly, giving them a consistent flavor. Roasting does more than just enhance the flavor. It also reduces the moisture content of the peanuts. This makes them more stable and extends their shelf life, ensuring they are ready for the next stages of processing without spoiling. Next up, we've got cooling. After the peanuts are perfectly roasted, they need to be cooled quickly. This stops the cooking process and keeps their moisture and oil content just right. To do this, we use a blower cooler cylinder that pulls a large amount of air through the peanuts. This rapid cooling prevents the peanuts from getting too hot or soggy. The goal is to bring the temperature of the peanuts down to about 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius. This step is super important because it keeps the peanuts' texture and flavor while stopping any further cooking that could make them dry or burnt. Until now, the peanuts were just getting ready for the big show. Before we move any further, they have to be prepared for grinding, and that means blanching. Blanching is the process of removing the remaining skins from the peanuts. There are two main ways to do this: heat blanching and water blanching. In heat blanching, the peanuts are exposed to hot air at 280 degrees Fahrenheit or 138 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. This makes the skins soft and easy to remove with rubber belts. The peanuts also go through a steam machine that helps take off the skins. After this, the skins are separated and blown into waste bags. The hearts of the peanuts, which don't taste good, are also taken out. Water blanching is a newer method. It involves cracking the skins with sharp blades and then giving the peanuts a quick hot water bath. The peanuts are then placed onto a swinging pad that rubs off the skins. Then, they are dried for about 6 hours with hot air at 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 49 degrees Celsius. Both methods remove the skins effectively, but water blanching is usually more efficient. A blower takes away light peanuts and a color sorting machine gets rid of discolored ones. The peanuts are carefully checked to remove any burnt or rotten ones. This thorough inspection ensures that only higher quality peanuts are used to make peanut butter. Now, this next process is important for all the texture that we get in our peanut butter: grinding. Grinding is where the magic happens. This is when peanuts are turned into peanut butter. The blanched peanuts go through 2 stages of grinding. The first grinder breaks them down into smaller pieces, creating a medium grind. Then, the second grinder turns these pieces into a fine, smooth paste. During grinding, ingredients like salt, sugar, and stabilizers like hydrogenated vegetable oil are added. These additions improve the flavor and texture of the peanut butter and keep the oil from separating. For those who love chunky peanut butter, chopped peanuts are added at this stage for that extra crunch. The grinding process creates heat, raising the temperature of the peanut butter to about 60 degrees Celsius. To keep the peanut butter fresh and extend its shelf life, it's cooled to around 38 degrees Celsius. This cooling step also helps achieve the perfect consistency, making the peanut butter smooth and easy to spread. The final step in the peanut butter journey is packaging. Freshly ground and cooled peanut butter is pumped into jars in a steady stream. Packaging is crucial for preserving the quality of the peanut butter. The vacuum sealing process not only extends the shelf life, but also keeps the peanut butter free from contaminants. The jars are labeled with important information like nutritional content, ingredients, and expiry date, giving consumers all the details they need. Once sealed, the jars are labeled and set aside to crystallize. This process helps the peanut butter develop its final texture and stay stable over time. After crystallization, the jars are packed into cartons and sent to stores. Now, they're ready for you to enjoy. And there you have it, a fascinating story of how peanut butter is made. From planting and harvesting to shelling, roasting, cooling, blanching, grinding, and finally packaging. Each step is crucial in creating the delicious spread we all love. Feeling inspired? Why not try making your own peanut butter at home? With just a few simple ingredients and some basic kitchen gear, you can whip up your own custom blend of creamy or chunky peanut butter. It's a fun and tasty way to play around with flavors and textures, and you'll know exactly what's in your spread. Plus, you'll impress your friends with your skills. That's all for the truth behind all the complex processes that go into making peanut butter. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on the next one to discover more unbelievable processes on how things are made.
All right, let's dive into something pretty fascinating. Nutella. Yeah, you know, that creamy, chocolatey spread we all secretly eat by the spoonful when no one's watching. But have you ever wondered what goes into making that delicious jar of Nutella? Or how factories whip up a batch that's always perfectly smooth? Well, buckle up, because we're about to go on a behind-the-scenes tour of how it all comes together. Spoiler alert! It's not just about throwing cocoa and hazelnuts into a mixer. Before we continue, I'd like to ask for a quick favor. If you're enjoying the video, please like and subscribe. It's free for you, but it makes a huge difference for us. Our journey begins at the world's largest cocoa pod farm. Yep, they've got entire fields dedicated to growing the stuff that will eventually become your favorite snack. Workers are out there, hand-picking the finest cocoa pods like it's a treasure hunt, making sure only the highest quality ones make the cut. It's not just about grabbing any old pod. They're super selective. Once they've got the goods, the pods are loaded into containers and whisked off to the processing unit where the magic really starts to happen. Now, picture this. Giant cutting machines crack open those cocoa pods like they're cracking eggs. Inside, we've got cocoa nibs that are like the unsung heroes of chocolate making. These nibs are carefully extracted by workers who are basically the ninjas of cocoa processing. They dry out in the open air, and once they've developed a crisp skin, it's time for the quality test. Next up, the cocoa beans go through a serious makeover. They're tossed into hoppers where machines vibrate them to shake off that dry outer skin, leaving the clean beans behind. It's like giving them a spa day before they head into the roasting process. Once roasted, the beans get separated from their husks, which are tossed aside while the beans themselves move on to the grinding stage. The beans are ground down into that fine cocoa powder we all know and love. Nutella is way more than just cocoa. We've got sugar, milk, hazelnuts, and of course, the all-important palm oil to add to the mix. Let's talk sugar for a minute, because it's not just any sugar. Nope. They use sugar from sugar beets, and it goes through a pretty intense process to make sure it's the purest, finest sugar possible. After cleaning and shredding the beets, they extract the sugar and run it through all kinds of tests to make sure it's up to Nutella's high standards. And then there's the milk. Nutella doesn't just grab any old milk off the shelf. Oh no! They source their milk from happy cows. Yes, you heard that right. Happy cows! Because apparently the happier the cow, the better the milk. Makes sense, right? So these well-fed, content cows are treated like royalty, and their milk gets tested thoroughly before it's ever allowed near the Nutella production line. It's all about quality control, people. Now, we can't talk Nutella without diving into hazelnuts. For that, we head to Turkey, the hazelnut capital of the world. Hazelnut harvesting is no joke. It's a big deal, especially when Nutella producers come knocking. Heavy machinery rolls in, picking up hazelnuts while separating out the debris. Once the hazelnuts hit the factory, they're roasted and inspected by actual humans. Yep, humans. To make sure nothing nasty slips through the cracks. Of course, we can't forget about the palm oil. Now, there's a lot of debate about palm oil, but for Nutella, it's the secret ingredient that gives the spread its irresistible creamy texture and stops it from turning into a solid brick. The palm oil comes from freshly harvested palm fruit, which gets sterilized, threshed, and then pressed to squeeze out that golden liquid. Like everything else, it's all about quality, quality, quality. So now that we've gathered all the star ingredients, it's time to mix them all together. The hazelnuts are blended into a silky paste first, thanks to the oils naturally present in them, giving us that smooth texture Nutella is famous for. One by one, the other ingredients, cocoa powder, sugar, milk powder, are added to the mix. This is where the secret formula comes into play. You know, that perfectly balanced flavor? The right amount of sweetness, creaminess, and richness? That's no accident. It's the result of careful blending and mixing until everything comes together into a smooth, luscious spread. And now comes the fun part, the part we've all been waiting for. Filling those iconic Nutella jars. This happens pretty quickly once the spread is ready to go. The machines fill, seal, and label each jar with precision, making sure nothing's out of place. It's almost hypnotic watching these jars whiz by on the production line, ready to be shipped off to stores and straight into our homes. If that wasn't enough to make your mouth water, let's switch gears and talk about some of the other delicious treats produced in these high-tech factories. Ever wondered how jam-filled biscuits are made? Let's just say it's like watching a well-oiled machine. Literally. These machines churn out sunflower-shaped biscuits with jam centers at lightning speed, producing up to 100 million of them in a single day. The biscuits get pressed, the jam is dropped right into the middle, and everything comes together like magic. And trust me, seeing it all in action is oddly satisfying, especially when you know they're doing it so cleanly and efficiently. And we can't leave out those picture-perfect waffles either. These aren't your average waffles. They're fluffy, golden, and oh, so delicious. Factories have specialized chambers to proof the dough and make sure it rises just right before it's cooked to perfection. Watching those waffle irons press down and create those crispy grid-like patterns is just as satisfying as biting into a fresh one for breakfast. It's almost like watching an artist at work, but instead of paint, it's batter. So there you have it. Nutella and all these other amazing products don't just magically appear on your grocery store shelves. It's a journey that starts with hand-picked cocoa pods, happy cows, and world-class hazelnuts, and ends with jars of spread that are irresistible from the first scoop to the last. If you're as fascinated by this behind-the-scenes look as I am, go ahead and give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more amazing production processes like this. I mean, who knew factories could be so mesmerizing, right? Plus, leave a comment below. What's your favorite way to enjoy Nutella? On toast? In a crepe? Or straight out of the jar? We've all been there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.